So I have been asked by this question a lot. Is the classic American dream possible? You might say yes, he might say no, but I think the classic American dream is impossible to accomplish. Okay? The people all have doubts within each other, especially if you're from different races. In the movie Crash, Jean Cabot was in a fight with her husband. She was walking down the street with her, fighting with her husband, and then as soon as she saw two black men walking towards her, she immediately averted her eyes. That's number one. Stay close to her husband. That's number two. And with the thought of fear that they might rob her, either by threatening her or by putting a gun at her head or something like that. All the negative stuff she's going on with her head. Another example from the movie Crash about how people doubt other people is when locksmith Daniel was at Jean's house. He was fixing the door and all that stuff, and Jean saw Daniel's tattoo on his arm. And since Daniel is Hispanic, Jean criticized Daniel by saying Daniel might copy the door keys and then lend those keys to Daniel's friend, and then let those friends invade Jean's property and steal her stuff. The American dream is not possible is also because of opportunity is always overpowers the skill sets. Okay, you might have the same skill. You might have skill, but you couldn't find a job using that skill. From the book Nickels and Dimes, the author said you cannot move forward just from working off a minimum wage. People say, okay, you get out of minimum wage, you're set for life, you can get out of poverty. That's not the case, okay? So let's say you earn $8 per hour, you get $1,000 per month. 90% of that cash goes to either your rent, your gas, your housing equipments like toilet paper and all that stuff. After that, you're left with only $200 to spend on your own. And $200 might seem a lot at first, but actually is not. Okay? Another thing why opportunity is overpowers skills is, let's say you're really skilled at flipping burgers at McDonald's. You went to McDonald's and you're at an interview and the manager asks you, hey, how much do you want to earn? You'll be like, I want to earn $30 per hour. Do you think that was gonna happen? No. You're not even get a job over there, okay? Because opportunity, no one earns $30 over there. That's why the opportunity is rare for people who earn $30 per hour in a McDonald's restaurant. Also, another reason why the classical American dream is impossible to be accomplished is there's a lot of racial discrimination across the news. One time there was an airline, I think it was United Airlines, that the passenger, there were too many passengers, and so they wanted somebody to get off the plane and then make them take the next flight, okay? But the thing is, they actually picked a Chinese old man to get off the plane. The Chinese old man said he didn't want to because he was a doctor. He needs to cure his patient, which is out of country. So and the patient is almost dying or something, and he has to get there as fast as he could. The flight attendants doesn't even care what he said. They just dragged him out, called the police, dragged him out of the plane. His head was bleeding with blood, and then his face, and he was sent to the hospital after that. As a result, the United Airlines paid him $1 billion just for an apology. Another incident is this one cashier described these group of black people that came into the burger restaurant. The cashier says 16 N-words. Well, first of all, 16 N-words is really a discrimination towards black if you are like a different kind of race when you say that. And also, you could actually give it another, like, describe the group of people in a different way, not using color, not using ethnicity, not using race. Okay, you can say 16 group of people, 16 groups of athletes, 16 groups of something that doesn't involve of racial discrimination or like racism. Okay, another thing that the classic American dream is not possible is because of one culture is always looking down at another culture. There's a short story that I read. It's called "Everything That Must Rises, That Must Converge." In the story, there's Julian and Julian, his mother. Okay, and Julian, his mother, is always saying that his Julian's great grandparents or grandparents was own like 200 slaves, all talking about slaves, all talking about power and authority over the blacks, and all that useless stuff. And it was at the 21st century. They were in the 21st century, and his mother is still saying that. They went on a bus. After they get off the bus, the Julian, his mother, always gives kids a penny, a cent, a something, like money or something. But this time when Julian's mother gives this little kid a penny, that means that symbolized that this culture is looking down upon another culture, which simply means that is not on discrimination, but it's kind of being like disrespectful of another culture, like thinking I'm the welfare, I'm the strongest among all of y'all, and then y'all should still listen to me, even though it's not written in the law. Julian's mother thinks the black community is poor, and she always thinks that another culture should take over the black community as a result. In the end, I would like people to work together as a harmony, disregard all the race and all the ethnicity. If you're human, we can be together. By being together, we can make this a stronger world rather than being separate. And one more thing is, if you can get the job done, I don't care what kind of race you are, if you can get the job done, you are hired.